Okay, we got some questions.
We do. Let's bring it
go.
on.
Let's
This
do it.
is Caitlin Pat, who says, my husband suffers from sex addiction. He's been unfaithful our entire marriage. We are a week and a half away from our 12th anniversary. I caught him with another one of his partners, for lack of a better word, 2 months ago. He's never said he was sorry. He's not a Christian. Although I constantly pray for him, I'm afraid of what disease he's going to bring home. I don't believe in divorce, but I honestly can't take it anymore. Is divorce okay in this situation?
Well, that's the one exception that Jesus gave, you know, except for the cause of adultery or infidelity, you know, this is fornication, but your husband, you don't need to be subjected to this, and the answer is yes, he'll bring home a disease. I'm surprised he hadn't done it already. I mean, take a walk. And get a good lawyer and make sure that you get taken care of. Don't just walk out the door, because there are a lot of consequences. Divorce is terrible. God hates divorce. But in a case like yours, you have an absolute spiritual, scriptural ground to terminate that unfortunate union you've gotten yourself into.
Okay, this is Nydia, who says, I'm only 15 years old, but I've done terrible things in my life. I've lied, stolen, cheated, been mean, and many other things. Have I done too many horrible things to receive the grace of God? Is it too late?
You know, I think you're closer to the kingdom than a whole lot of these righteous people who think they're so good. You remember the story that Jesus told about the man who beat his breast and said, God, be merciful to me, a sinner? And the religious man says, God, I'm so glad I'm not like these other people. I give a tithe of all the stuff, and I go to church and go to the synagogue and so forth. And Jesus said the sinner is going to go home justified. Listen, if you turn your life over to the Lord, the fact that you have such a tender conscience, let me tell you, God will embrace you and love you and bring you and make you part of his family. But you need to come and get the forgiveness that the Lord gives you. So you need to come to Jesus Christ. All right?
This is Gail, who says, it seems like all of my friends have had their prayers answered while I still wait. I've asked God to send me a husband, help me with bills, etc. All my friends are married, have a family, and are thriving. Has God forgotten about me?
I imagine God has given you some stuff to do and you haven't listened to him. You know, you expect him to do it, and you pray and you think God's going to send an angel and kick you off the roof into a lap of luxury. It doesn't work that way. He will open up for you ways where you can thrive and get ahead and do what you've got to do. So listen to what he's telling you about the way out and then follow his direction.
Okay, this is Kenneth, who says, who's running ISIS? Is it being run by one man, or are there more who are hiding and running it secretly somewhere else?
Well, there was a Syrian, you know, who was very dedicated. He had been a pimp, actually, procuring women. And then later on, he had this conversion experience where he became a very righteous Muslim. And he dreamed of a caliphate and the resumption of the Ottoman Empire and all that stuff. And he started this ISIS thing on the back of the fact that we withdrew from Iraq. So there was a vacuum in Syria and a vacuum in Iraq. And he moved into that thing. Well, I think he was killed on a drone strike. And now there's a gentleman named Baghoudi, I guess it is, who's the man in charge. But ISIS now has thousands and thousands of supporters, but it's not near as powerful as we make it out to be. I mean, maybe 5,000 troops. We could send some troops in there and wipe them out in a few days if we wanted to do it. We just have been reluctant to sort of put boots on the ground. We'll need to do that, but they could be wiped out, and will be, as a matter of fact, pretty soon. All right.
Yeah, this is Patty, who says, can I pray alone to tear down the strongholds and bondage of fear, unforgiveness, and bitterness? If so, how do I do it? Satan's working desperately to destroy our marriage and our family.
Are you and your husband, are you and your wife together? If the two of you agree on anything, the Lord will be there in your midst. But what you need to do is, by your mouth, bind Satan. Satan, I bind you and the forces of evil, and I command you to leave. If you do it in faith, he will hear you. If you want to get a pastor or godly people in to join with you, and that's fine. Okay, well, we leave you with today's Power Minute from 2 Thessalonians. The Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and protect you from the evil one.